right, welcome back to the Citizens Mic podcast. Here we give every person an opportunity to air out their opinions, their views. We give every voice an opportunity to be heard through the Citizens Mic podcast. Right now, on the state of the nation, we want to look at the state of education in our country. So far, I know the biggest problem that we've been having so far is the joining of grade 9s to grade 10. The joining of those who finished their transitioning from the junior secondary school to the senior secondary school. Mm. So it is something that has caused a lot of, I don't know how to describe it, but the parents have come out. We've seen so many parents crying and saying that they're not even able to buy school uniform for their kids. They're not even able to do shopping for their kids to join a grade 10. And yesterday I saw the president saying that no child should remain at home as we speak right now, because he says that the government has set aside a lot of funds which has been given to the secondary schools. So mwalimu ambaye anataka kufukuza mwanafunzi kwa sababu hajalipa fee ama kwa sababu hana school uniform, the president yesterday issued that directive kwamba mkubalie wanafunzi waje shuleni wasome. So I don't know. I just want to hear your submissions around the issue of education in our, and I'm going to start with you. Ndio sasa gava jitete.
It's okay. Thank you. In fact, today, before I joined the podcast, I'm from St. Girls. I was trying to look for an admission slot for one of the students that has not been able to join a school up to date.
Today, yes.
And what the school was telling me through the receptionist is that, you know, that child has already lagged behind. Yeah, because they already started learning. So this replicates across the country, and what is happening, there's a lot of confusion. We saw girls being posted in boys' schools and so on, a lot of confusion. But that boils down to incompetence. How do you place a female in a school of a male? Right? That, you know, that alone, it could be, yes, a mistake. But that mistake proves a lot how we handle national issues in this country. Because you can't tell me a selection panel can sit down and randomly select a girl to join a boys' school. And now they have to go and look for schools. And in fact, the ministry got a lot of applications for people trying to change institutions. For instance, you work in Nairobi and your child has been called to Mombasa and it's a day school in Mombasa. Do you relocate to Mombasa and seek a job there so that your child can go to school in Mombasa? So these are some of the challenges that are revolving around this. And now let's come to the cost of education. The government released the highest, about 24% of the national budget. 700 and something billion, 700. It's the highest budget that has ever been allocated to learning institutions. But again, the challenge comes back. Why are we not seeing it? Why are we not feeling this money, especially practically at the institutions? Because there's some section which has to go to the transitioning, the infrastructure part, you know, the tuition fee, and so on. So I think we need clarity on how the state operates. And those responsible need to know that we've delegated this responsibility as citizens. We all cannot fit in those offices. But what we are demanding is that, please, can you come up with a swift way of doing things? I don't have to be concerned as a parent how my child is joining school. In fact, during my time, you were receiving more than 2 letters calling you to a school. You have to choose which school you're headed to. But this time, it's the parent begging for a position in schools. Do we even have the manpower that is needed for this transition from grade 9 to grade 10? So schools are also struggling, but they are not speaking about that. So now that we have the government here in the room, I want to direct this message to you.
Even before the government takes over, I think like the example that you've given, the issue of a school saying that learning has already started, I think that is a lie, because, okay, maybe as a school, but I remember yesterday also the cabinet secretary for education saying that they are expecting that now learning starts, I think, next week.
Next week.
Yes. I remember him saying very well when he was talking about the books
Okay.
that should be issued to the grade 10s. So them saying they cannot admit a child because they have already started learning, I think that is a very fake reason.
Actually, what they said is this, for clarity, they said that there are a few slots that are left, but the child has already lagged behind. So I don't know what they meant by that. So they said we should work as fast as possible to ensure that
okay,
the child has been
catches up
enrolled.
with the-
Otherwise, the government here is going to take action against that parent. So I don't know what action.
I think what you need to put in mind is that this is the first time we are doing this. We've never done it before. So you must encounter teething problems. It's a new system because he's talking about boys being allocated the girls' school, others being allocated in places where they can't. There are small teething problems that can be solved, and they will be solved moving forward. You see, and I think there was a 3-week grace period for parents to review.
Yes.
And almost 80% has been sorted because I also had cases of children being posted to as far as Turkana from Nairobi.
Yes.
So it was a teething problem, and the cabinet secretary for is it Ogambi took responsibility. We had a 21-day transition to circumvent around that. So I get your concern, but that one is being solved. It's a non-issue, really. It's a non-issue.
Maybe if they could be able to translate that into a percentage so that we see whether it falls within the percent, that margin of error that we expect. So if it is beyond that, then now we can say this is incompetence.
Actually 80%.
Yes.
80% who reviewed the schools have
already been
allocated the new schools. So I think it's a non-issue, really. It's a non-issue.
Yesterday, I saw some member of parliament. What is her name? Is it Jane something from? Is it Naivasha?
Yeah,
the
Jane
member
Kihara.
of Jane criticizing the government. That is a government to government. Criticizing the government. The government through the president, asking what is all this? Why should we prioritize Nyota while we are having the junior secondary schools who do not have the equipments they should be having for learning? We have parents who are still at home, not able to admit their children to grade 10. And so she criticized the president for the project, Nyota project. And then I was like, oh.
Actually,
But
it was
you-
in Kisii.
That's an opposition
Yeah.
MP. You know, they're just saying things left, right, and center.
But is there some sense in that? Is there some sense in that, like
well,
today,
well,
you are
well.
here giving out funds, and then there are parents who are stuck at home, their children cannot join a secondary school. Does it make sense?
Well, I think that's why we have a budget, and you allocate resources according to what you promised the people. The president promised a bottom-up economic model, and Nyota is part of it. Well, resources are scarce. And you cannot just put money, for example, in education sector, and you leave the youths. You see, when they are not happy what they do to the streets, the country can't move. So it's a genuine concern, but that's why we have a budget. You allocate
I like
money.
the silence from me and him when you're trying to explain.
Actually, what I was trying to say is that for the first time in this country, a 14-year-old girl, it was in Kisii, went to hug a tree. In fact, this thing of hugging trees, sometimes it's helping. Just to mobilize resources for education. She's uncertain about her future. You know, education is the greatest equalizer. If we cannot give this opportunity to these young people to get educated, actually we don't have a future. We will need another presenter seated here next, after the presenter that we have here. The position that you occupy in government, you'll need somebody else to come and occupy it after you've left. So it's only education that can act as a conveyor belt to ensure that the country moves forward. So right now we are talking about free education dying, you know, and the irony of it all is that this is the largest budget where the 24 point something percent has been allocated to education. I don't understand how it comes about that you've allocated the greatest amount of the largest share of budget into this education, and again we cannot have free education in schools. Look at bursaries. Right now there's a bursary issuance exercise going on here in the Great North. You know, why would you give money to members of parliament to issue in the name of supporting education through bursaries, and yet you have an option of consolidating all these funds? The bursary for an MP, the bursary for a governor, the bursary for an MCA, the bursary for the president, the bursary for the ministry.
You see,
if you consolidate this money, it can offer free education.
Actually, I support what you're saying. And again, you need to separate the executive from parliament. Okay? Parliament is an arm of government that operates independently. You remember who was it? Senator for Kiambu tried to come up with that bill to consolidate bursaries. Uliona MPs vile waliruka? The greedy ones, uliona vile waliruka?
But I believe if the president has the powers to call these MPs for a sitting and tell them we are passing this finance bill, whether the people like it or not, he still has the same powers of calling these people and telling them, let's make education free. Because that child in the village, deep down in the village, how will they access education? The parents are not able. Right now we are talking about the office of the deputy president. He has actually exhausted even the supplementary budget. he has been allocated
Actually,
3 billion
seen, yes.
and he has spent more than 3.2 billion. How do you spend 3.2 billion on office of the deputy president?
60 or the 6 months, eh?
For 6 months. That's a period of 6 months.
Yeah.
So what are our priorities? You know? What are our priorities as a country? If you cannot prioritize education, where do you get professionals?
But you see, you can't say we haven't prioritized education if 24% of our current budget is going to education.
It's going to education, yes.
Okay.
Does it mean it's not enough?
It's only that we need to understand the demand.
Exactly.
Education demand in our country.
Yeah, and resources are very scarce. So let's just
How do you say
resources are scarce. Resources are
So-
scarce.
When a deputy president can spend, do you know what 3 billion can do in 6 months? Do you know what a billion shillings can do?
Now, let me take you back now, because we cannot talk about, we cannot say that we are done with education if we have not touched this Ndindi Nyoro, because Ndindi Nyoro proposal,
Yeah.
the Ndindi Nyoro effect,
Yeah.
what is happening currently. I know people have come out to say whatever things that he's doing is kind of a revenge. I don't understand revenge for what, because yesterday I was just having a conversation with a young man and he's like, I don't like Nikamusa. Why? Because this is kind of a revenge. So I was like, okay, kama ni revenge, na ni revenge which is positively impacting us as a country. Wacha ikuwe revenge. That's what I told him. But now, let us just look at this proposal by Ndindi Nyoro. Like yesterday when he was in Mombasa, he talked of, tried to challenge the government, I mean the whole country, to look at like secondary school free education, for the day schools, day scholars, free education. And he gave out a proposal. The constituency to give, I don't know how much,
30
the
million.
county government to give how much, and then also now the national government to give a percentage to make day school secondary education totally free. But I see what is happening. People are coming out and saying, no, because he started it in his own constituency.
They're paying 500
people
shillings.
paying 500 shillings, and they are getting lunch and they're getting everything. And I saw people coming out, MPs asking him, where are you getting this money from? Mara wengine. So I'm like, are these people not getting the same share from, or whatever it is? Are you not getting something from? So, and another thing, what I like about that effect is that he was able to, he made us know that, made us understand that it is possible. These things can be done.
They can be done.
So he made me understand, because these people are always complaining. So nikasema, so this thing is possible. It's only that we don't have leaders who are responsible enough, or we don't have leaders who are proactive. Actually, the point here is proactiveness and also being intentional.
a case example is I saw the Madeira MP following suit. Now, he was telling Dende Nyoro, just to support your point about leadership, he was telling Dende Nyoro, come and benchmark so that you don't charge the students of Kiharu that 500. Because in my constituency...
It's now totally free.
It's now totally free.
And I like that.
Yeah, so we have a problem with leadership in this country, especially the MPs and the governors that we elect. People need to be very careful on who you elect. You see, if Dende did not do that, the Madeira MP wouldn't have done it, isn't it? So imagine you have 50% of Dende Nyoros across the country. Constituencies would flourish.
Yeah.
Education would be almost free for secondary school people.
And actually, education being the biggest burden to a Kenyan parent, because actually what is draining and slowing down the economic growth of this country, it's education. Parents are really up and down trying to pay that school fees. The whole government, I think the idea of Singapore, maybe they should go and benchmark in Kiharu.
Are you saying Kiharu constituency is a Singapore right now?
That is the first step to Singapore.
Yeah.
So you replicate that across the country.
Sure.
You get to Singapore. I would want to add. I would want to urge. Let me urge principles, because again, that's where the problem comes in. You are getting a principal in a school somewhere, because I have had those cases several times. You are told that uniforms you have to buy in a specific shop.
Hey,
you compare the prices with other shops, you get there's a margin of almost 5 to 10%.
Wacha tu.
That's where the burden comes in.
I don't want to give you an example of somewhere I went, and I'm telling you, the shop that you are being sent to, and when you go to Uhuru Market,
yes,
the prices
price is 3 times.
Exactly.
3 times whatever you are buying at Uhuru Market.
And that should be a concern to the cabinet secretary and the county educational, the directors, the county directors of education. They need to reprimand these principles, because they make a kill out of nothing. And that's why, that's why guys like this are telling us we are not allocating money to education because of the burden. But you see, that parent is being burdened by these characters. And it's something that we need to do a lot of...
But now it is now the leadership in education, because me as a parent...
Exactly. People need to take responsibility.
Me as a parent, naenda shule, nimepatiwa pale form, nimeambiwa huku ndo unaenda kununua uniform.
Yes.
Ama leta pesa, mtoto apewe uniform. So, and you have no... Ukienda kukataa tena inakuwa ni issue. Mtoto wako hata ataanza kuwa mistreated in school.
And actually, just an advice to the government now that is here. The Nyota program, and also for us to realize the Singapore journey, things like school uniform, and actually for us to stop selling state departments, things like school uniform. Can you imagine how many young people you will employ to make sure that they've clothed all these pupils and these students that are in school? What revenue will the government make out of that? You know, the government says, okay, we are selling at a subsidized price, or we are giving it to schools.
A textile company.
We've taken this 33 billion shillings from World Bank, but now we've decided we are going to use it to give young people skills, the tailors, the whoever, the marketers, and everyone, transport, and we are the people who are going to clothe all the students in this country, provided from this grade to this grade. We will create revenue for the country. We will not need to borrow more. We will not need to sell state departments to create what we call an infrastructure fund of 5 trillion
I hope we have time to talk about state assets. This is the last time we are criticizing it. Yeah. So, I agree. And I think in the next financial year, we are going to increase allocation to NYS to be doing some of these uniforms. I know it will be in phases, but we are headed there. So by 2030, NYS should be clothing kids across the country.
Sasa NYS si wao wafanye hiyo kazi yao na huku kwingine mu create employment for others surely.
This population
Come up with
is
the population msianze mnawekelea watu wengi wao wafanye zile kazi zingine. We can have another textile industry and I know Kenya had tulikuwa nazo. So if you revive one and this one is specifically for school uniforms to clothe our students in our country.
On the textile
and then
parts.
muweke watu kule na imagine watafanya kazi. Although I know of course it's gonna affect other business because there are people who are surviving out of that. But if these people are exploiting the parents and the students,
you can
then
also strike a balance.
yes, you
can
strike a balance.
Of
Yes.
course, it's give and take. On the textile industries, I think the president hosted heads of market, the leadership of markets. Our biggest problem with reviving these textile industries is second-hand clothes.
Mtumba.
You try and touch Mutumba, you ban this country. So to revive again, you see, and I like giving an example of butter. Why butter does not do well in this country. You see, you go to butter to buy these tafis for children. And you go to Gikomba, for example, to buy the same shoe. You find butter is maybe 2,000 or 3,000 more. Okay? So even with our textile industries, the problem we have, number one, is the high cost of electricity. The cost of production in this country is way higher. So that's why we are talking about NYS. Because again, if we go the textile industry way, it will be the same. The price will be unbearable to the parents. So unless now,
but I know even if we are consuming electricity, it cannot be as more as the parents are being exploited. It cannot. It cannot because if the government says that this is what they are doing for the pupils, for the students, you have a ready market. You have a ready market. Wanafunzi hapa Kenya lazima watasoma. Even if you're going to charge a subsidized price, which can cater for just a little profit for the government and also a little for and actually it is the government's, tunawasaidia kupunguza mzigo ambao mko nayo. So it is the government's responsibility kusomesha watoto. Unaget. So ile itakuwa imewapunguzia. Yes, you're going to consume, but if parents going to cater for the electricity, the power that is used and the labor, why not? Why not?
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. It will be a give and take. I think we are going to consolidate because we are going to do public participation. We are going to consolidate all those ideas and have something.
Because if you look very well, those companies that are selling these uniform at those high prices, most of them,
it's exploitation.
It's exploitation. And look at the owners. I don't want to say more, but look at the owners. But look at those who are selling it at a cheaper price. They are locals. And you can see them making those products there. So anyway, I think that is fair enough. That is fair enough because we have few minutes left. We have like around 11 minutes around. I think they will give us like 5 minutes. So that now we can also look at the sale of state.